Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another broadcast of Northwest Georgia Cryptics. I am Rick Weaver, your host. At the moment, we're having technical difficulty. I'm waiting on my co-host, Mr. Blake Duckworth, and our guest, Mr. Richard Stewart Taylor from Texas. Here's Mr. Blake joining us. Hello, Blake.
I'm sorry, having a little bit of technical difficulties.
All right, buddy, we're live. Still waiting on Richard. I don't know what's happened to him. This is very unusual for Richard. Uh, Blake, you want to go ahead and open her up, buddy?
As always, guys, if you don't mind, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, like, and a comment. I hope everyone is safe tonight, as we're having some pretty bad tornado weather here in the South, especially Alabama. So all you guys in Alabama, I hope you are safe. That's all, Ricky.
Yeah, it's like Blake said. I hope everybody across the southeast is hunkered down and safe tonight during all this bad weather. I spoke
Yeah,
with some.
they've been about 40 tornadoes today in Alabama. So when they haven't released the I guess classification of it, but the one that went through Tuscaloosa was possibly an F5
Oh man, I hate to hear that.
in
Yeah,
Tuscaloosa.
hope everybody's safe out there. I spoke to some friends a little while ago from Atlanta, and uh, actually they're down in Atlanta tonight, and they said there'd been a lot of trees blowed over down there and power outages. So I'm hoping and praying that everybody stays safe down there. We've been
Oh,
having
yeah, we're about to get ours here in a little bit. It ain't supposed to get bad till a little bit later, and not here.
yeah, that's what got me worried. Of course, I live here in a mobile home, and bad weather always scares me when it comes through this area.
Well,
Fortunately, I
yeah,
live.
You live in the area where a lot of the tornadoes come through in our area, anyways.
Well, yeah, and that's something that worries me. I've been fortunate about that though. I've lived here for 8 years, and you know, by the grace of God, that we haven't really had any. Well, I mean, we had some real bad weather, but nothing that's really done
No
any damage
tornado.
to anything so
Yeah.
far. Well, folks, I don't know what has happened to Mr. Tyler. I'm hoping he's safe down there where he's at in Texas. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about how their weather has been down there the last day or two. You heard anything, Blake?
No, I think they're under a tornado watch. I mean, I don't know. I know Louisiana and Mississippi, but I'm not sure about Texas.
Well, Blake, if you'll continue there just a second, I'll see if I can get him again, okay?
Do what?
I said, if you'll continue on talking to the folks for just a second, I'll see if I can get him again.
Okay. Well, I just want to give a shout out to everybody at OSPH. Um, if you don't mind, you can go check out the website if you're interested in booking an investigation. Very amazing place if you're into the paranormal. Um, I mean, just check it out. Um, Sorry, guys. Have you tried calling him?
I'm fixing to right now.
We do apologize. This does happen from time to time.
Yeah, this is Richard does pretty well. He's pretty prompt. I don't know what's happened tonight. Just if I can get him
When's
on
the,
Messenger here.
when's the last time you talked to him?
Yesterday I think it was. He sent. Yeah, I know it was. He sent a bunch of. He sent a bunch of pics that he was going to do on the show tonight.
You did inform him that it was, he's Central Time.
Right, yeah, I don't know, normally this thing rings when it's trying to call someone. It's not even, all it's showing is calling on here. It's not ringing at all. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the inclement weather that we've got coming in may have something blocked. I don't know.
Well, I mean, all the stuff that's went through Alabama, I mean, it could have messed something up.
It could have. I'm trying him one more time here. This makes the fourth time I've tried him.
Well, if we can't get him, I mean, we do have a scheduled show for tomorrow night as well. So,
Right, I just hate to. I hate that. Just thoughts of something is might have happened to Rick. That worries me a little.
um, talking about the hospital, we do have some public events coming up if anybody's interested that lives in the area. Um, cannot remember exact dates. The Ghost Hunter crew. Now it will not be the main. It will not be Steve or not Steve, but Grant. I think Grant's with Ghost Hunters now.
We
Yeah.
have a guy on here that's just asked, has either of you seen a Sasquatch in person? Uh, where's your host located? We're actually Blake and I both are located in Calhoun, Georgia. We had a show scheduled tonight with Mr. Richard Tyler from Texas, and something's happened that Richard's not been able to join us so far. I'm kindly concerned that it may be the inclement weather that we've had throughout the southeast has caused it. But yeah, there was one of the viewers here asked if we'd if either of us had ever seen a Sasquatch in person. Uh, myself and Blake,
We both
myself and
have.
Blake both have had visual encounters of these creatures. Um, Guy here, familiar Bobcat, filmer of Bobcat. He said that the weather's already left Texas. I don't know what's going on. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, Blake and I both have had encounters. I had my first encounter back in 1981 while float fishing a creek about 10 miles north of my home here. We were float fishing, doing some trout fishing that day, and along about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, this was on July the 5th, 1981, we came across a waterfall, and down about, oh, probably, I don't know, 100 yards, 200 yards below the waterfall, my left, I noticed something standing out on a sandbar where little Skeercorn Creek came in at, and this thing was kindly crouched over like a man crouched over. First, when I first glanced at it, it kind of looked like a bear, but then when this thing raised up, instead of bear paws coming up out of the water, it was two hands, human looking hands, about twice the size of mine. The creature was about 5.5, 6 foot tall, probably weighed about 350, 400 pounds. I judged it to be a young juvenile. Uh, but yeah, that was my first encounter. Then Blake and I were actually doing some paranormal investigation at a cemetery down in Bartow County, Georgia, and we got involved down there and got to hearing them. And Blake uh, was actually back down there a few weeks later and had a visual encounter of three creatures: a male, a female, and a young juvenile. About he perceived to be probably 4 year old that was with them. And Blake, you want to tell the folks about that one?
Oh yeah. So basically, like Ricky was saying, we had been frequently visiting the cemetery. Um, Me and Ricky had been down there probably a handful of times, and we were down in the cemetery. Basically, heard a howl. Didn't really think much about it. Kind of led into a couple of different encounters and events. Just kind of cut it short. Um, Me and a buddy were down there. We had been out there pretty much all night. Started to walk around the cemetery after it got daylight, or walk around the lake after it got daylight. Uh, Walked probably about half a mile to a mile back in this cove. Basically, walked up on a family. Just to kind of cut it short without going through everything. Um, Got a visual probably at 100 yards or so for probably 2 minutes or longer, 2 to 3 minutes, long enough for me to call Ricky. That's pretty much it. I mean, basically, just like a lot of people say, they were there 1 minute, gone the next. Once they hit the wood line, it was like they were never there.
Right. We also got one here that's asking, was the juvenile at all threatening or just curious? The one that I saw in '81 was basically, like I said, he was standing on that sandbar. We saw him at a distance of probably 40 to 50 yards from the raft we were in. We were moving fairly well on the water. And no, he was not actually. He did not let out a yelp, anything of that nature. Wasn't threatening at all. Threw his head back, kind of winded the air. Uh, he When he winded the air, I guess he actually caught scent of us, and he turned, and he was probably 50 yards from woodline, 40 yards, and in two long strides, he was into the woods and gone. So that just goes to tell you how fast these creatures can actually maneuver when they get spooked or whatever. And I said spooked, but I say it takes a lot to spook these creatures. I know I've been spooked by them quite a few times myself over the years. As so has Blake. We've had rocks thrown at us. We've had trees broken over, limb breaks. Man, you name it. If it was possible for them to do it, they've done it. And yeah, it's kindly got to me over the years. But I go back every chance I get to investigate these things, and it's amazing to me at what these creatures can actually do.
Well, it's more of the for me. I mean, it's more of the questions that keeps me going. I mean, it seems like the more research you do and the more you get into it, the more questions you have. I mean, even though I've had a visual sighting, I've heard wood knocks, I've heard howls, but that just leaves with more questions than it does answers.
Oh, that's right, and that folks is what keeps us going. It's not the fact that we're trying to prove that these creatures exist to anyone. We know they exist. As I tell everybody, I'm not a believer. I'm a knower. I've seen them. I saw these creatures up close and personal. I've had quite a few encounters with them. Blake saw them up close and personal, so we both are actually knowers. It's But it's just amazing at the different things these things will do while you're out there in the woods. And what gets me is these creatures are very curious. You don't have to actually go out and look for them. They will come and seek you out if you're in their territory. Uh, they're very curious, and they're going to find out what you're doing there. And if they don't like you being there, they're going to run you out of there. What's
Just
your
reading comments. Somebody said 2 years ago in New Mexico, I had two whoopings at our group. It wasn't at all scary or threatening. They just seemed curious, and so were we. And I agree. All the situations that me and Ricky have been in, never really felt threatened. I mean, definitely startled, or a little fear, but never felt like my life was in danger. No.
No, even with my encounter that I had back in 1984 up on uh, Big Frog Mountain in Tennessee, I actually had a young pup of mine get killed up there that night. But as far as me myself being feeling as if I was threatened by that creature that night, and let me reiterate, I did not see the creature. I don't know if it was actually a Sasquatch or a bear that my pup had encountered down in the woods that night after it left the tent. But whatever it was, my dog ended up with a broken neck, and even with all that taking place that night, I did not actually feel that I was threatened in any way.
Um, Not to change subjects, but my fiance, she just left a comment about the event I was talking about with the ghost hunters. Investigators and Paranormal TV, you will get to investigate one of the most haunted locations the South has to offer. Brian cannot pronounce that name, and Rachel from the hit TV show Ghost Hunters. Um, and that would be the April 10th. So if anybody is interested in that, you can go on the Old South Pittsburgh website and book your tickets, or you can actually give them a call. They are a phone number on their website and on their Facebook page. Check out their Facebook page. It has all the information on there. See, our
Okay.
lady group were singing, telling stories. Another comment, one talking about the whooping in New Mexico. Our ladies group was singing, telling stories, and laughing, and
I,
I danced in a strobe flashlight. They were interested. The men had a group of 2 miles away, got very different response.
wow. What type of response did the men's group get that night? If you don't mind, let us know on here. But that's just it. I mean, you can be in one location, a couple of miles apart, and you might get watch these creatures, and then another group may get attacked by them, or rocks thrown at them, or whatever. It's just the nature of these creatures. As I was telling Blake and one of the hosts or one of the guests a few nights ago on one of our podcasts, a guy that frequents a park in Tennessee had uh, deal where he'd been going in up there to this national park, and he said at night he'd been having rocks thrown in his tent, so he decided to go to Walmart and buy some uh, tennis balls. And he took his bucket of tennis balls in with him this particular Friday night, and he started throwing these tennis balls up into the woods after they'd started throwing rocks at him. And he said he could actually hear these things chasing those balls back and forth through the woods. And the next morning, he said when he got up and got back to his car, he'd had to walk in about a half mile to a mile, I think is what he said. Um, but he said all these tennis balls that he had thrown that night was lined up across the hood of his car. So that just goes to tell you that these creatures aren't just some dumb ape out there in the woods running around. These are highly intelligent creatures. Uh, in order for them to have known that that was his car, either had to have been through scent contact or through them actually watching him come and get out of that car. And so that shows you that their memory span is a lot better than what most people would think.
Okay, so you'd ask about what the responses were. They got rocks thrown at them, growls, and finally a real vibrating roar. I've never seen anyone drive a pickup so fast on a dirt road, getting the heck out of there. Then praying and squatching. How's it going, brother? He said, how do they know it was the same group or the same creature or creature responding to each group? I love this tennis ball story.
Okay, Barry and howdy, Barry, big howdy out to you, buddy. Says, how do they know it was the same creature or creatures responding to each other, to each group? It probably was, in response here, it probably was the same troop, but not the same individuals. Both events were taking place at the same time. So, in other words, there had to have been more than just one or two creatures there for this to have been taking place at 2 miles apart. Uh, so, yes, it could have been the same clan, but yet not the same individuals.
Oh yeah, definitely. More than likely, not the same creatures. I mean, I'm sure they can move that fast, but chances of them, it's definitely possible it was the same creatures, but I mean, more than likely it was not.
This is something
And that would explain the difference in responses as well.
correct. You're exactly right on that one, Blake. I know the investigations we've done over in Blue Ridge. We were over there a few months ago, and we've had howls, whoops. We had one night over there that kindly got to me. I don't know whether it was a young juvenile. Blake and I were there at the old Hickory Flat Cemetery, and there's a pavilion there where the hikers from the Appalachian Trail actually use the pavilion area to camp in, and we were there under the pavilion that night, and
Hey, Ricky, not to interrupt you there, but I added a group on Facebook, Forgotten Cemeteries of Georgia. They were a post the other day about Hickory Flats.
Oh, were they? What they had to say about it?
I don't remember what it exactly said, but I just happened to see that it was Hickory Flats.
And folks, this place, as far as North Georgia is concerned, the Blue Ridge WMA area, Blue Ridge, Rich Mountain, Blood Mountain area over there, come back across over into the Cohutta WMA area. All this area is super squatchy here in Georgia. Probably one of the most notable places in the state for Sasquatch. There's a few areas, down south that have good activity with squatches, but our landscape here in North Georgia, here in the mountains, they find it fascinating. They find it a good place to live, good food source, good water source. So we do have quite a few squatch in this area. Blake and I have investigated over at Blue Ridge quite a bit. I'm hoping, I'm planning on going back over there maybe mid-April to late April and do a weekend investigation. And anybody that would like to join us can contact me on my messenger, Facebook Messenger, or at Northwest Georgia Cryptics at gmail.com.
Yeah, all we ask is if you do want to come with us, be serious about it. Don't not saying that anybody would, but we don't want to bring the wrong people.
Right. Yes, most definitely. If you're interested and you believe in Sasquatch and you're interested in coming on a expedition with us, do so. We'd be very glad to have you. We're planning
we need to figure out a date because I talked to Brian. Brian's wanting to go with us, Donnie as well. I'll just probably have to either take vacation days or switch days around or something. So we just need to get a date together so I can let Brian and them know. Because the only time Brian can go is on the weekends.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let Brian and them know. Let's set it up for the last week in April. that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So we got
We'll
some
we'll
more.
go and set up camp on Friday. Do a hunt Friday night. Maybe have a big barbecue on Saturday night before we do our Saturday night investigation, and then get out and scout the woods out on Sunday and leave Sunday afternoon.
Got some comments here. It was probably the same group, but not the same individuals. Both events were taking place at the same time. I think the pair of juveniles came to watch us ladies, and the adults were watching the men. Um, then Praying is watching said, so perhaps it was the males responding to the female team, or females and juveniles, while females were responding to the men. There were about 12 women in the ladies group and approximately as many men in the men's group. They were going to sleep outside, not in the tents. They had to leave everything. And leave fast. We were behaving like typical humans around a campfire, except no fire, laughing, etc. The men were not. They were setting up camp and ignoring the first warnings.
And that's what happens, folks, when you get out there and these creatures, you know, that's what I said from the start. When you go into an area and Sasquatch is in the area, they're going to know as soon as you come in. They're going to know as soon as you get out of your vehicles that you're there. They're curious. They're going to come and check you out. And if they don't want you in an area, they're going to do everything they can to run you out of that area. Now, not to say that they're going to harm you. I've heard a few reports over the years where people have actually claimed to have been attacked by Sasquatch, but for the most part, every story, every encounter that I've had, every story that I've heard that's been related to me, they've been more of a mundane creature. They will throw rocks at you. They'll break trees. They'll break limbs. They'll do whatever they can to get you out of that area if they don't want you in there. But
yeah, it's intimidation factors. I mean, it's not. If they wanted to hurt you, they could. I mean, they're more worried about just getting you out there and intimidating you to leave.
Right, when you take a creature that's 8 foot tall and weighs 1,000 pounds, yeah, dude, he could break you in half if he wanted to. I mean, that's that. And there's no doubt about it. Uh, you know, uh, I've stood up against some pretty good sized guys myself and had a few fist fights over the years, but I'm not gonna jump out there and try to fist fight a Sasquatch. That's ridiculous. If one's gonna if I run into an encounter where they don't want me in the woods, I'm gonna back out and I'm gonna leave.
Hey Ricky, why don't you post the link to the stream in the chat and see if anybody wants to come in with us.
Okay, hang on one second. Copy. Let's see if I can do this.
And if you do want to, once the link is posted, all you have to do is click on it, and it will pretty much bring you. Just follow the instruction, and then bring you right into the stream.
Yeah, if you guys would like to speak to us, live, just click on that link, and we'd be glad to have a live chat with you. Filmer Bobcat says we ladies didn't feel any need to leave. They weren't being scary at all. It was exciting and interesting. And that's something else that it's to me, that's what it is. It's the excitement that these animals actually create while you're there in the woods that keeps drawing me back to the investigations. it's just knowing that there's something out there that's 8 to 10 foot tall that could actually hurt you if it wanted to. But yet, as I say, the encounters that I've had myself, uh, I've not had a real. I've never really had a real bad experience with them, other than the time that my dog was killed back in '84. Uh, but since then,
Well, and that you don't even know for sure if that's what that was.
right, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you know,
I don't know. I did not see the creature that night. All I heard was a couple of growls that came from the woods that night, and that's the reason the dog jumped up out of the tent. And praying and squatching, I would, but guys, I'm watching in bed. LOL. That was from praying and squatching.
that's
Uh,
where I want to be right now, brother. In bed.
uh, Me too, man. Me too. It's been a long week for me. I've had a lot of stuff going on around the house here, but
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I've had so much stuff going on here lately. I can't even keep up.
hey, man, I'm telling you,
Everything with the hospital and work and this and that, and seems
Timber
like there are
Bob,
15 million.
Timber Bobcats replied here. However, I was doing concealed carry. Nobody else knew. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, folks. I've been doing this for years, and I'm not gonna go to the woods without having a weapon with me. I mean, even though I've never had a real bad encounter with these things, other than that one in '84, I'm not going out there with these creatures this size without having some type of weapon with me. Uh, you know, uh, it's hard to say what would actually you would take with you to bring something like this down if it came down to that. Uh, you
Well,
know,
here's my thing. Here's my thing is, I've never carried anything. I mean, I carried a machete with us before, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't. I feel like it's one of those things. Like if you carry a weapon and they was to sense that you have something, you may get a different response. I mean, at that point they feel threatened. So I mean, I don't, I don't know how I feel about it, but I do feel, I would say, I guess that you may be better off not carrying a weapon.
well, that's true. That's true too. Uh, Barry of praying and squatching replied, the only time I felt slightly threatened once when I was getting stalked by something I couldn't see, and the time I believe I was zapped possibly. Emerald Bobcats, I would never have used it unless absolutely necessary, but I'm calm and level headed, not inclined to be trigger happy. Well, that's true. That's something you don't want to be with these creatures. Is trigger happy. Blake and I, the group that we formed, we're a no kill group. There's a lot of people out there that that are in for it for the fame that would shoot one of these creatures at the drop of a hat. I'm not like that. Something that God has put on this earth that's got a living, breathing soul. Uh, I'm not going to get out there and just start taking pop shots at it just because I can.
Well,
Uh,
no, I mean, especially with these creatures. I mean, a lot of the encounters that people have had with that were aggressive or negative or of being attacked. They were something most of the time that provoked that encounter.
no, most definitely. Yeah, the guy I interviewed back last year that was up on the Appalachian Trail at the New York Connecticut border. Will Burnett, guy from Alabama that we interviewed last year or last week. Will just chimed in absolutely. So Blake, he agrees with you completely. Well, howdy, buddy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's just kind of a common
Well,
sense thing. I mean,
Remember Bobcat says, flash bangs, cool idea. We had a black bear hanging around the outside of our commercial camp, hoping
and and, and I'm not,
to
I'm not
scrap.
opposed to carrying a weapon or a gun in the woods, but that's mainly for other things, not necessarily Bigfoot. I mean, I feel more threatened by other animals in the woods than I do Bigfoot.
Most definitely, in the area that we're in up here, the wild hogs is one thing that worries me more than anything.
Hogs, yeah, hogs, bear. I mean, they say that we don't have panthers, but they've definitely been seen up here. I mean, in our area. So, they're no wolves, coyotes. I mean, they're no telling what you'll run across.
Remember Bobcat says pigs are quite a threat here in Texas.
Got chilly outside.
Barry says, let me see here. Filmer
No,
Bobcat says, I've grown up
most
in,
of the time, coyotes won't be a threat. No,
no, coyotes won't be.
most of the time they'll go the other way. But
I've had coyotes come into camp, come in next to the camp, smell around a little, but as far as trying to, show any aggression at all, I've never had a coyote do that. Now, wild hogs, on the other hand, as I said a minute ago, those things will absolutely tear a man apart.
especially, I mean, there's so many of them up in the northwest, or the Blue Ridge Mountain area.
Filmer Bobcat says, yeah, you're way too big for a 30-pound coyote to go after. This is true.
Oh no,
But hey, we weigh
Ricky
150
would probably.
pounds. We're out there chasing something that weighs 800 to 1,000 pounds. So, you know, uh, who's to say what could actually happen while you're out in the woods? But
All I got to be is faster than Ricky.
yeah, the trick you and your dad pulled on me a few years back, folks. We were down at the lake back in 2011 and doing an investigation, and we had a Sasquatch mimic me. It sounded just like the call I had made. I mean, identical to it, other than you could tell that the throatiness of it was a lot deeper than what I did. And anyway, I turned around and Blake and his dad had left. We were a mile and a half from the truck. By the time I got back over to the truck, they were both locked in the truck, and I beat on the side of his dad's truck. His dad rolls the window down and says, "Hey man, I didn't have to outrun Sasquatch. All I had to do is outrun you." So that's the way it went.
Clifford, come here, Clifford.
Blake, you got your Squatch dog using that? There's old Clifford.
Yeah, my little beagle basset.
Yeah, mine's over here sitting on the couch wanting me to take him out.
Come here and say hi to everybody, Clifford. Come on. Come here. This is my baby.
Mamie's back.
He's a good dog. Saying a dog, I'm a human. What you
Ever
talking
a
about?
Bobcat sure says coy dogs are another matter altogether. They generally lack the humanity of dogs, and they lack the fear of humans of the coyote. I've had pet coyotes that were much easier to deal with than coy dogs.
I could say that.
Do what, Blake?
I said I could say that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Barry posted in a do or die situation, aim for a leg. I can't outrun a healthy Sasquatch, but I can outrun a one-legged one. Barry, you got that right, buddy. That's the way I feel about it. If worse comes to worse, that would be what I'd do. Oh man, folks, we've lost Blake. I don't know what's happened to him here. He's got carried away with the pup and uh, cut himself off. But no, seriously, everybody, if you're out in the woods and you run upon one of these creatures, my recommendation would be just to kindly bow your head down and back out of the area and let them have it. Here we go, Mr. Blake, back again. What happened to you there, brother?
I don't know. I disappeared.
Disappeared. Oh Lord, you're doing too much paranormal investigation. There's what's happening at hospital if they're getting to you.
I'm having problems.
Hey, tell me about it. Filmer of Bobcat says in martial arts they teach us to always go for the kneecap, not the groin. The groin is too easy to protect. But the displaced kneecap will put an attacker on the ground. Will Burdett says they are very territorial, and we should all respect that. And that's very true, very true, Will. I couldn't have said it better myself, buddy. They are very territorial. It says when the juvenile took off, he dropped to all fours to run, so that Sasquatch might still have 3 legs to run on. Good point. One that I really hadn't thought of.
Yep. Let's see.
It says, yeah, Barry says, yeah, but my farm is in the middle of their territory, Will. That makes for a bad day. Makes for a bad day all the way around when you got them knocking at your back door all the time.
I'm having technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're lagging, like you're cutting in and out.
Oh, am I? Well, folks, I've been joined with my grandson here. Oh, he's going back out the door on me. He seen me on air here, and he left out.
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, bud. Barry says he's had some sleepless nights on his farm. Filmer of Bobcat says we both sound normal to them. And Blake's off again. There he is. Brother, you done another one of your disappearing acts, sir. You hear me, Blake? Blake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now.
You're not having one of your mind speak ordeals, are you?
I don't know what's going on. You're cutting in and out, and like your audio is just,
On my
at
end?
least on my end, it's probably it's probably this Wi-Fi or something. It's something on my end, I'm sure.
Hey man, I'm on AT&T. There's no telling. This is about the nearest to nothing internet I think I've ever had. Bad part about it.
Can you hear me?
Filmer Bobcat says you both sound normal from my perspective, but I can see that Blake can't hear you. Huh. Can you hear me now, buddy? You hear me, Blake?
It's cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. Well, folks, since our guest didn't show up tonight, we're going to end it a little early. We appreciate all the comments, all the feedback that we've gotten tonight. Hope y'all guys will keep watching. Sorry that our guest couldn't make it. I'm hoping that the weather out in Texas, the bad weather they had out there, wasn't the cause of it. I will try to contact him tomorrow and find out what happened. Blake, you got anything else, bud, before we close out?
As always, guys, thank you for your support. We're slowly growing, but if you don't mind, if you're not already subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. And I hope everybody stays safe. Got a safe place to go tonight. Please, if you're in the area, just keep an eye on the weather. And I hope everyone has a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, guys. Yes, tomorrow night we have a guest coming on that he and his brother who is in a wheelchair had an encounter a few years ago in a state park with I think he said 4 different Sasquatch during a 1-day period. He's going to be on tomorrow night. We'll be on at 10 o'clock again, and hope y'all guys will join us. We'll put here, you know that though, and I think as long as you respect them, they will respect you. Well, that's very true, buddy. If you respect the area that the Sasquatch is in, and you respect him being there, if you're not getting aggressive with him, I don't think he's going to get aggressive with you. That's one thing I tell everybody. If you encounter one of these things, don't try to show aggression toward them, because if you do, you're hurting yourself and you're going to get yourself hurt. Our broadcast is every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Please, everybody, join us. We're like I said, we do this every Wednesday night. We're having a special show tomorrow night, Thursday night. It will be at 10 p.m. Hope everybody will join us for it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going back out of here now. And as Blake said, everybody please be safe tonight. This bad weather coming through, it could get bad out there. Normally, we don't have this kind of weather here in this area, but when it does blow through, we normally get rough. So we're hoping everybody stays safe and finds a safe or has a safe place in their home to go to. Blake, buddy, anything else at all before we close out?
I can barely hear you, Ricky.
Okay. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another broadcast of Northwest Georgia Cryptics. We've enjoyed all your comments tonight, all your feedback. If you have any comments that you'd like to share with us, just hit our comment section at the bottom of our screen and leave your comment. So we can get Blake back on here for one last time. Blake, anything else you want to say, bud?
I just hope everyone has a great night, and thank you guys.
All right, thanks everybody. And this is Rick Weaver, Blake Duckworth, Northwest Georgia Cryptics. Thanks again for viewing tonight, and everybody stay safe. Good night, everyone.